Okay. All right. So, Gemini, this one's for you. Hi, that's you here. This is Tarot Lumination, and this is your love relationship mini report for July 2018. You know, it's kind of generic. It's for lots of people. So if it doesn't feel quite right, watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if they're all different, okay? And then reinterpret the whole thing to suit yourself, all right? You can also cross-watch, you know, for your significant other. Also, singles, if you really want to, you can watch these as well, but put everything through the filter of the laws of attraction, okay? Because you're always radiating energy anyway, including love and relationship, and this would be what's reflected back to you, kind of like a what if, who, what, when, why, where, how, all of those kind of energies embodied over here in a what if scenario. Before we get into the cards themselves, I just wanted to give you some calendar moments for everybody. I'm stretching it beyond the month of July itself. June 27th, the Cancer Capricorn full moon over there brings in the first 2 weeks of the month with that energy, taking us to new moon July 12th. It's an eclipse, Cancer sun, Cancer moon. So that's in your second house. Okay, Gemini, that's your house of value, house of values, money, like your what you believe is worth things to you. And eventually, when it comes to the full moon over here in Aquarius, let's just show you. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. Okay, it's kind of a mess. Let me just show you. These are my own personal notes. I'm just sharing them, okay? Think of this as kind of a clock, an Tarot Lumination Astrodoodle clock, okay? So we're starting off, I was mentioning June 27th, the full moon over here. The moon in your 8th house, okay? Over here, opposing Sun in Cancer. Value and values in the context of a relationship, okay? Moving forward, a couple of weeks later, we have the eclipse here. Cancer, new moon eclipse, okay? Sun and moon in Cancer in your second house, right here. So you might have a whole new sense of value and values when it comes to relationships, because it's going to depend on you. What is it that you have to offer that's of value? What is it that you value in others? Lots of radical shifts and changes with the eclipses, okay? Next, moving on a couple of weeks, July 27th. This is the Aquarius Leo full moon eclipse, okay? Sun in Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius, moon in Aquarius, Sun over here in Leo. But this is more to do with your higher consciousness, your sense of foreign travel, your connections with let's say, greater understanding, wisdom, the sense of journey and adventure, getting you prepped up for everything that you need to know and be how you are in your career. In this, but that's not part of this reading. Then going on over here all the way out to August 11th, the Leo new moon eclipse. So the pertinent dates for the month are over here, July 27th and July the 12th. But we're stretching it because of the eclipses, because it's such an important month. So you're not getting, none of this affects you directly in terms of love and relationships. So I'm not going to stress or emphasize any of it too much, although you might have a different sense of values and perceptions in how this works, and also new ways to communicate in and out of relationships. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what the cards say, what kind of story unfolds for you, Gemini. The Leo Aquarius eclipses likely could be very rattling, because they are for everybody, but because they're very harmonious with you. The Aquarius is an air sign like you, and the Leo is sextile to you, so it's very comfortable. It could be very opportunistic for you. Good opportunities for radical shifts, radical improvements in your love life, including your love life. Thank you very much. That's what I meant to say. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Sorry about that. I love the cards the way they were originally painted. And we're going to use the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread here. It's on the understanding that there's you, dear Gemini, a significant other, and a third entity, the relationship itself, okay? And in a deeply loving relationship, both parties would conduct themselves through the relationship. So the crucible becomes the structure in which the relationship is conducted as you intimate and separate. I'll show you in just a second. You'll see. Cards are well shuffled now, and we're going to go into it. Please bring your angels, bring your team on board. We've got Team Tarot Lumination here working with you too. So you might as well take full advantage and soak it all in as much as you can. All right? Going to cut it all up now. Big, big, big time. Big monster cut that was. Wow. I think that was the biggest cut of the whole month. All right, here we go. So this is what you would be radiating, okay, in terms of love and relationship, primarily love and relationship. Okay, over here, the significant other radiating their energy too. Think of yourself like a cell phone tower, or a cell phone itself, or a radio, or a transceiver. You can, or a walkie-talkie. You're picking up and receiving signals, okay? Over here, energy deep, deep inside of you, energy deep, deep inside of the other. Over here, the energy of the relationship itself. This is the third party that we were talking about. You, other, relationship, okay? And the relationship has its own energy, its own life. If it's, especially when it's understood and nourished, that's the best way for these things to happen. This would be the prospects and the momentum. So if you think of this as a thing that is a living thing that is happening inside the crucible, all of this where you intimate and separate, intimate and separate, intimate and separate, that's happening in this structure, the crucible. The crucible is built to withstand intense pressures. In a strong, loving relationship, the crucible is strong. In a weak, fragile, limbic type of relationship where everything's happened out of karma or coincidence or limbic settings or default behaviors, the crucible can be deeply fractured, flawed, leaky, like a sieve, whatever it is, which makes it much harder to enjoy and conduct a loving relationship. Let's have a look at the weather, circumstantial energy. It's out there for you, Gemini, to make the best of it. This is not a couples reading, but it does permeate the whole thing. This is all about you. We just happen to be including the significant other, which triggers the relationship itself. Okay, here we go. Knight of Wands. Okay, my feeling is that you probably feel the good opportunities coming. So you're just setting yourself up. It's just like being a surfer, realizing, oh, this is interesting. Big wave surfing season is here, and it looks like it's perfect setup for me. That's great. I'm just going to freaking go for it. I'm going to take full advantage of this. I'm going to charge right into this stuff. In other words, to me, it looks like fun for you. Yes, it could be very frothy. The waves could be very big and very, very choppy at times, but you might get turned on by all of that. And you want to bring the best of it, of yourself that you can, even if it, like, it's not like you're trying to prove anything to anybody. It's like this would just be your natural state of being anyway. I'm not saying that you're a big wave surfer, okay? Male or female, it doesn't matter. All I'm suggesting is that you might get a feeling with the Leo Aquarius eclipses and the Leo new moon coming and all of that, that this is a really good setup for you. So you're going for it. And it's also an indication that if you don't feel that, if you're not sensing it, please be aware that it's out there and you might as well take advantage of it. Please see all of this as good weather. Please see all of this as good weather. I know it looks like gobbledygook from here. It is a Tarot Lumination Astrodoodle, so you have to forgive about that because this is about as good as it ever gets. But this is good news. This is good weather, okay? I know it looks scary, but for you, it's good weather. All right, let's have a look. What are you radiating? Justice. So everything is exactly as it should be. You're getting exactly what you deserve, all the best of it and all the worst of it. And that's fine. It's totally neutral. It could also indicate that you are determined to, let's say, come into a state of justice where things are brought into harmony and balance in a way that is truthful and deserved and that is correct according to the universal laws, according to universal truths. And it's about time. So I see there's a kind of like a karmic thing going on here where this is your chance to get back into harmony and balance if there have been things that have been out of harmony and out of balance for a while, or perhaps for years, or perhaps even a lifetime, or even lifetimes. This is a golden opportunity, an amazing time for you to bring justice, okay? justice served, justice deserved, okay, for you, okay, and it's for the good. And there's no apologies here either. In other words, if something really awful has to be dealt with or revealed, or it's in contention, it has to be dealt with, then so be it. But it's not going to, doesn't have to mean it turns into an ugly bloodbath. It just means justice has to be served. In other words, doing things formally, properly, as though it's a court setting, like in a court setting, for example. You know, people get divorced, but sometimes divorces can be very amenable. It could be the best thing that could happen for a couple. If there was a very toxic relationship, sometimes the best thing to do is have a formal divorce, which is very, very healing. It can be the best thing. Instead of sitting stuck in a relationship that is very toxic and there's no attempt or desire to bring justice or integrity or honesty to the whole thing. So this to me looks like good news. And there, it's very neutral. So if there is some contention, it's nothing vengeful or vindictive towards another. It's nothing self-deprecating towards you. It's just truth and justice coming into play. Okay, what about the other? Okay, well, they might be quaking in their boots right now, because if you're feeling the good vibes and seeing this moment in time as a chance for you to get some justice, to come into your own and have things finally brought into truth and harmony and balance, that could be very awkward for them, because they might have been enjoying an environment that is technically, theoretically, from the perspective of heaven, seriously out of whack, seriously out of balance, to the point where it's better that they didn't know and they just conduct themselves in that way because it's beneficial to them at that time. But if you're bringing things into justice, into alignment, and exposing what was out of alignment with a significant other, again, I don't see any malice here, any harmful intent here, but it just might be that the other becomes exposed to their own dilemmas, to the point where they realize that it's kind of like they've been out of their depth for quite a while, and they've been doing anything and everything to avoid any kind of spiritual, emotional, psychological, intellectual challenges, and instead just, go along to get along, or whatever that expression is. They get along in order to go along. In other words, like, they're not actually dealing with reality. They're just like living as though they're in a puzzle or in a maze, and that stuff is happening. Bad things happen. Oh, well, and good things happen. Oh, well, but there's no truth here. There's no integrity of the person here. Sorry, I'm not trying to insult this person. What I'm trying to say is that you, Gemini, might be relating with someone who's been fooling themselves for quite a while, denying the truth, denying the justice, denying the integrity, in denial with themselves, in denial with you, in denial with the relationship, to the point where they're stuck. It's like being lost in a maze. And that's a problem. It's a problem for them, but it doesn't have to be anything really ugly or nasty or mean or toxic. It's just that it looks like it's time for this stuff to be exposed and dealt with for the good of everybody. Also, with the Eight of Swords here, my feeling is that they really don't want to know. It's like if they're dealing, because they have their own calendar moments as well. All those 4 major calendar moments that I mentioned. June 27th, July 12th, July 27th, August 11th. All of those significant calendar moments could trigger a lot of these quaking, shaking energies here, where they might feel that it's like they're not just in a maze, they're not just in a puzzle. They actually are the puzzle. Those little old-fashioned games, it's just like a little wooden box. Okay, I'm just going to do something here. This is kind of weird. Pretend that's that wooden box, okay? And you know how you tilt them and everything, and there's a little bead, there's a little ball, and it goes here, and then around there, and up there, and it starts here, and it's supposed to end there, and it's a puzzle. It's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be exciting as you navigate your way through. And but what I'm trying to make an analogy here where they're not just in a puzzle, they are the puzzle, and they don't know it. They don't know that they're kind of in an enigmatic situation themselves. So it's very hard for them to discern, because if they are the puzzle themselves, they don't even know that they're in it. So that's a problem. So it makes it very difficult for you, Gemini, to navigate with someone who's not even aware of the issues, of their issues, or the issues that you have, or the issues of the relationship. It's not. It's like it's beyond denial here. It's just like lack of awareness. So that's a problem, as much for you as for them, as for the relationship, because it really helps to have, full participation in a relationship, Okay, let's have a look. What's going on deep inside of you? We've had this card quite a lot in the readings. Judgment here. It might be, Gemini, that you are seriously looking for liberation from this. And maybe there's some kind of, it's almost like, I'm not saying in a sort of PO'd type of way, like get me out of here. It might be that deep down, to be honest, it's very, very difficult for you to enjoy a truly fulfilling, loving love relationship when you're dealing with a significant other who is an enigma to themselves. They don't understand their own dilemmas. They are lost in the maze, so to speak. They don't understand that they are the puzzle, and whenever they're trying to figure things out, they're almost in some ways making it worse. So that makes it very, very hard for you, because you're not dealing with a full participant here. So you might be screaming inside for liberty. Get me out of here. Please forgive me, dear Lord, dear heaven, dear angels, for wanting out of here. I might be still deeply in love with them, but at the soul level, like, I don't know what to do. I love you very much, but I have no idea what to do right now, because you're not fully present. You're lost in your own maze. And they're like, really? I thought we were doing so well. What about that night we went out and did this? And what about the other day? Like, seriously? You have no idea. Do you understand what really was happening? Do you understand what's really going on with us? Yeah, I think I got a pretty good idea. Like, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Get me out of here. Ah! There's a little bit of that going on. It's not the end of the world, but I think the eclipses are really going to shake this stuff up, where this problem is going to be fully exposed. And then the question is, what do you do with that? Okay, what's happening with them deeper down? It might be totally different. All right, well, with the Six of Swords here, my feeling is that in some way they might not be able to handle this. They might be seeking peace and justice just like you, but they're coming at it from a completely different perspective. But it's more about, it's almost like running away from the problems rather than dealing with them. They might be looking for peace and harmony and tranquility, and getting away from emotional psychic turbulence that they can't handle simply by running away. But of course that doesn't solve anything, and you can probably sense that and feel this already, okay, from over here. And even though they might be wanting to run away and find peace and harmony, moving on, just grabbing what's with them, and you might actually want that, like, it's almost like, God, I wish they would just leave me. Why don't you just leave me? You're completely off tangent here. You're on a tangent. You're completely, like, you're just not participating in the relationship. You're so far out of the relationship that it's not even a relationship anymore. Get me out of here. And they're kind of already doing that in their own way. But the thing is, it is a loving relationship reading. So my feeling is that love still exists here. The question is, how are you going to deal with this? And I think it might be to do with the eclipses, having to do a lot of recalibration. But again, it's very hard for you, Gemini, to recalibrate with someone who's not even a participant, someone who might be even looking for the exit right now. Let's have a look at the core itself. Okay. Well, with the Three of Wands here, this is, to me, feels very closely associated with the Justice card. You're getting what you deserve. So Gemini, if you have been in a relationship, even a deeply loving relationship, where you're starting to observe that this is the new reality, and that this is not really working for you, and it's not really working for them, despite however much love there might be, or how much love there could continue to be if you were willing to live, live a facade, or play roles together. That's very different from having a deeply loving relationship where you actually truly love each other. And some people do that. They choose to live in roles. They choose to live as if nothing's happening, and then they go forward. And then all this internal stuff just happens internally, and nothing's ever figured out, and they just live through politeness. Oh, hello, hello. Oh, hello, 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 yes. Did you have a good day? Yes, no. Do you want pizza? Yes, no. I thought I was going to, were you going to bring me a beer? No, I thought I was going to bring you a wine. Okay, I'm sorry, okay. Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good week, darling. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, that's not a loving relationship. That's just two people playing a role. So my feeling here, as harmonious as the Aquarius Leo energies might be, the harmony might be that maybe it's about time that whatever is not working is brought to the surface and dealt with. And if what's not working is to do with a person with whom there is no deep truthful connection, where things are really out of balance, and where you do seek liberation and freedom, then so be it, and then go from there. But the thing is not to take any of it personally, because, one of the things about loving relationships is that it's like the whole point of the crucible is that it's an environment in which we can love and be loved. One of the most important things about love is, in terms of love would be the willing, conscious, deliberate choice to extend yourself above and beyond your comfort zone, in relationship to a significant other, in order to foster and nurture your own spiritual love and growth and healing, and the spiritual growth and love and healing of a significant other. So that love is much more than just, getting an apartment together, or sharing on some of the mortgage payments, or having kids, or, running a business together and then having affairs on the side, or whatever it is. A truly loving relationship involves two full participants. My feeling here with the Three of Wands is you're getting what you deserve, and it's coming at you. And so what do you do now? You're looking at like a reality check, like a karmic thing here, and nothing good about it. It's just like, this is what's happening. You're charging into it, maybe coming in a bit naive at first, a little over enthusiastic, then discovering along the way, like, oh my gosh, Terra Lumination was onto something. Now I kind of get it, especially towards the end of the month, and especially in early August. This might make a lot more sense. What about prospects and momentum here? Okay. My feeling with the Six of Pentacles here, dear Gemini, is that you're getting a serious reality check about what's going on between you guys, bringing things back into harmony and balance, so you get a clear perspective. Now, does that mean this is going to endure? Is the relationship going to continue? Or are you both off on completely different tangents? You're off big wave surfing over here. They're off in their lost maze puzzle over here. They're thinking of looking for the exit strategy, how to get out of here. You're praying for redemption and forgiveness and release and freedom. So it's each of you in your own version of like, let's get out of this. Let's just have an amicable separation here, or let's bring things back into harmony and balance. However you do that, it's love is as love does. So it means maybe over the next few months, especially here, since the Cancer new moon eclipse here, July 12th, is going to be in your second house of value and values. What is it that you truly value about a relationship and the other person in the relationship? What is it that they truly value about you in a relationship? And what is it that they truly value in love and relationships? And the evidence. We need to see the evidence here. Evidence, okay? And then, how does that play out? Now, the thing is, dear Gemini, this is not the end of the story. This over here, this Cancer new moon eclipse, is like a precursor to 2019, because 2019 is going to be wall-to-wall eclipses with the Cancer Capricorn axis. Okay, so you might as well get used to this stuff now. All right, so my feeling here is that as the month progresses, you will start to see this as karmic justice, like, well, I got what I deserved. What do you know? Maybe I was innocent, maybe I was naive going into it, but at least we're going to bring things into balance here. They're going to get what they deserve, you're going to get what you deserve, and perhaps calling things like an even split, so to speak. Some people do that. They split up and they say, you know what? Let's just make it even. I'm not going to try and ream you. You're not going to try and ream me. We're just going to say, you know, some relationships live their life in the journey and then it's over. It looks like things might have culminated here. You're seeing the consequences coming in. What do you do with it now? You know, looking for the evidence of love. Maybe there's been things out of whack for a long time. Maybe there was not enough generosity from you to them. Maybe not enough generosity and kindness for them to you in your moments of need, with them in their moments of need. But neither of you were aware of that. So your whole value system, what is it that truly holds value to you in love and relationship, to bring things into harmony and balance so that you get what you deserve, they get what you deserve in a way that grows and builds, and there's evidence of that, evidence of love. So the evidence of love might be an awareness of what does not work. And then what do you do with that? If you need redemption, forgiveness, and to let go and justice to be served, then so be it. Bless your enemies. Forgive. If you want to be forgiven, forgive the other. Okay? So no grudges here. If your loved one needs a lot of forgiving because they just are not on the same page with you, then offer the forgiveness. Release them. Release them if they want to be free. Okay? And that gives you that's a way of redeeming yourself and forgiving yourself and releasing yourself. You release them, okay? No point in trying to hold them to try and fit an obsolete understanding of what love and relationship is. It's all blown to pieces anyway. The eclipses are going to blow it all to pieces, so there's no way out of it. You might as well take advantage of all these big waves, go with them, do the big wave surfing, face the truth, face the reality, let justice be served, liberate yourself by liberating the other, allow them to be a puzzle to themselves, live a new journey, grab whatever they can and move forward, accept the consequences, and bring things back into harmony and balance in a way that works for both of you, okay? And like a nice sharing, an amicable, even split. And if you have to, then you get back together again or whatever. But right now, this needs to be sorted out, okay? So let's just let it happen. Take full advantage of the situation. I know you will, Gemini. The energies are very favorable for you to do this. It might not be the smoothest ride. You know, big wave surfing can be very challenging, but it looks like it will bring things back to like a kind of a down-to-earth reality check for both of you guys. All right. Thank you so much. All the best, Gemini. And watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Cross-watch for the others if you want to as well. Take care. Thank you for choosing Tarot Lumination. Bye-bye.